Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming. For today's lunch seminar with our Alumni Award winner, César Alvarado Ancieta, I hope I pronounced it right, and his master plan for better flood control in Peru. César studied at the IHE Delft 22 years ago. He's now come back especially for the Alumni Award in yesterday's opening. Since then, he's worked in at least 32 countries, I counted, maybe more. His main achievement has been developing a master plan for flood control in Peru, for the river Piura, the river Piura in Peru. So please come, make yourself comfortable. And so, without much further ado, I would like to welcome César Alvarado Ancieta, as he would say himself. Applause, please.
Thank you. Yeah, okay, thank you. Thank you very much to be here. Thank you to IHE to this opportunity. The time is quite short. I will try to summarize the most important topics of this master plan from a different point of view, in one point of view, environmental, social, and also political constraints. The main presentation today is River Piura, basic knowledge for reducing flood vulnerability with adequate resilient hydraulic infrastructure as a result of an integrated river basin and coastal flood management plan in Peru. Just shortly, this is my background. I have started my career in Lima, Peru, working 8 years before coming to IHE in Delft. Simultaneously, after finishing my career, I was assigned to work in several countries, Pakistan, Nepal, India, Gabon, Congo, Turkey, Albania, etc. And in the last years, I got order to strengthening new projects I believe, and this is the one of the point that you should focus in the future to get a member of some international entities, like the ICON, International Committee of Large Dams, or the IHR, so they are well known, and then this will strengthening your position in order to get to develop the projects well, not only for the authority countries, but also for the entities which can finance these projects, like ADB, KTB, World Bank. This is very important. So now I will continue with the main content from today. The main content is introduction to the problem. Then I will talk very shortly about the methodology, the initial conditions, the anthropogenic changes conditions, main questions about the problem, the key knowledge, basic knowledge, important definitions for planning and a sustainable and resilient flood risk management strategy, criterion analysis, flood risk management, and analysis of alternatives and design criteria, and finally the projected and designed resilient hydraulic infrastructure and drainage system. A brief introduction is in this slide is El Niño phenomenon events occurs for more than probably 2,000, 3,000 years. But the most recorded are those which happened the years 1925, 73, 83, 98, 2017, and the last one, 2023, with the Yaku phenomenon. Affected the north part of Peru, the Piura region, economically, socially, and environmentally, producing large floods areas along the river Piura alignment and the tributaries, as well flooding cities and towns. In addition, these events during extreme heavy rainfall produce dead basins in cities and towns. But flooding is not the only issue. And you can see here in this picture how the city of the north part of Peru, the city of Piura, and others, because this is one city in the north part of Peru, was flooded in the last years. Extreme events. So, 150 years of human intervention has transformed the Piura River, Peru's main irrigation area, into a semi-channeled and regulated river with deep embankments, ruins, and sedimented floodplains in the lower river basin, Bajo Piura, and a non-river channel rich of sediment ejection source area in the intermediate basin, Medio Piura. So that is what it was in this picture is from 1960. How was the river at that time? But you can see how in this picture the inhabitants were already taking the floodplain areas, the right and left margin, and narrowing the river continuously, which is the lack of legislation, the lack of authorities to control a quite good development compared with other countries like the Netherlands, Germany, and so on. And this picture shows us how it was in the 1970s and how the phenomena El Niño has destroyed and made collapse all the different living environment and flood defenses. Even dams and barrages have collapsed. No? The deviation of the natural course of the Piura River in the lower river basin, which in the past discharged into the sea, anthropogenic changes, a proper river mouth to a new point of discharge, a non-proper river mouth with a long river length in the last century, has resulted in a complex problem in the river morphology of the lower river basin. As a consequence, an aggradation sedimentation process is occurring in the lower river basin. Simultaneously, the degradation of the intermediate river basin, which is the source of sediment ejection into the lower basin, has continued unchecked, leading to the necessity that mitigation measures be taken to counter the stream bed and riverbank level changes, if adequate measures are not taken to solve the problem. So you can see in this picture how I don't know if you can see my mouse. Can you see my mouse, please? No? I believe, is this one? Can you see the point now? No?
You could also point on the picture. Like with a hand. If you want to,
okay.
I can point.
But no, doesn't matter, it's fine. So that this river has the early river mouth was at this side. This is the early river mouth. But with the anthropogenic changes, because man wants to take advantage of this area for agricultural land, also the Pacific Ocean Bay for seafood products and sport. So the man decided to realign the river, and instead to go in this direction, they changed it to this area, to the desert of Sechura, to the area of Sechura, complete arid area, as you can see. So then the man-king have produced a special phenomenon. This river, all the rivers, as you know, ends in the Pacific, in the ocean, pardon, in the ocean, in the sea. But this river is not finishing in the sea. So, if the sediments come from upstream and go to downstream, and they cannot continue, they will sediment it and produce the aggradation phenomena from downstream to upstream. So, as a consequence, the city and all the other towns along the river basin will be flooded. So basically, this is the main problem of this area. Accompanied together to the main topic that this is a no perennial river. A no perennial river means is a river which doesn't have water all the year. Sometimes just 2-3 months during rainy seasons you can see the water in the river, but the remaining months is completely dry. It's not like the Rin, it's not like the Elba River or other rivers where you can see low discharge during low season and high and peak discharge during flat season or rainy season. Here, just during flat season, during the peak seasons of rainfall, the river brings water, and of course they activate the meandering depositions, meanders, sandbanks, and these are transported to downstream. So that is the main problem of the river. An effective evaluation of the riverbed in this degradation and gradation process in the intermediate and lower river basins requires an understanding of the morphological processes involved in river channel geometry, adjustment and projected new conditions for an effective integrated river basin and coastal management plan for flood risk control. You will see later why is the coastal management plan, because this river is going to other area, but more downstream will be achieved to go to the sea. This area nowadays is impossible because of social and political problems and land resettlement. It will be very difficult, and of course, like in many developing countries, as in our countries, to resettle these people and to do new activity have a negative impact. So we need to take care and to plan strategically how we can achieve the main objective, which the main objective is to reduce vulnerability for all these people, almost 500 million inhabitants, just in Piura, and in all the river basin, around 1.5 million inhabitants. So that is the way where we want to go. The other picture that I have shown, it was up to here, now continues, and we want to go to the sea. We want to go to the sea through this area and release to the Pacific Ocean. And this one is not a road, as you can see. Probably you will find this is a road. This is not a road. This is a tombola. This is a natural formation along of millions of years formed during the process of the geological and tectonic changes. So the problem is quite complex, and we need to find this one and to protect also, because the new alignment created by the man, due to topogenic changes, has created this new environment. It's not only the river itself. It has created new environment in this area, in this pampa or lagoon. Has created new environment in this estuary. Has created new environment in this area of Namuk. Has created new environment in the famous La Niña lagoon. So, and it's creating new environment also here through some partial releases. So this one need to take care by the man, need to take care by us as engineers, with conjunction of environmental impact, social impact, and also natural basis solutions. And the natural basis solution in this case is performed considering the old alignment, that is the ancient part of the ancient alignment, in the Holocene, in the Paleocene, and you will see later on why. I will explain. This is another picture from 2017, but I will go now to the methodology. The methodology to carry out is based on a cost-benefit analysis, CBA methodology, based on a multi-criteria analysis, being a tool to help leaders make decisions by providing clear choices that carefully weigh in engineering, social, and environmental topics, together with weigh costs, trade-offs, and benefits. So, what is the most important point here? This is, sorry, in Spanish, but this is basically still others to go up to achieve the project. First, the analysis of the project and the site to understand the problem. What is this problem? How can we solve out the problem? These are the basic questions that we have to make us. The second one, definition, project definition. We need to define the key objectives, the limits, the geographical area, the anthropogenic basin, the philosophy of management, the design criteria, and other topics. Then, the stakeholders. The stakeholders is very important in this project. Otherwise, we cannot achieve this one in a right manner. The qualification of the project. We must to qualify which are the positive impacts and negative impacts. That means advantage and disadvantage. How can we carry out the project, sorting out the problem, the main problem of sediments, and of course the vulnerability against flood. The strengthening and flexibility of the project. How we can make this project robust in order to be accepted not only for the engineers, but also for the different stakeholders and political point of view. And finally, the implementation. The implementation phase is one of the most important. Otherwise, we cannot carry out this one in a suitable manner. For all this one, we start from it's very important to consider the current state, the current situation. What is the current situation and how we want to perform this master plan. So initial conditions 500, 200 years ago. Abundant vegetation in the upper and middle basin. A steep river slope in the upper basin, very mild slope in the middle and lower basins. Middle and lower basin meandering with large dams, sandbags along the river. Lower basin multi-armed alluvial fan and river delta river mouth next to a desert and arid zone, Piura, including with erosion direction south-north through ancient Pleistocene Holocene river alignment. Lower basin river alignment direction northwest. Availability of extensive harvest in the main middle river basin, either for flood dampening and water storage. Alluvial, eolic, and marine sediment deposits. Dominant suspended flow in the middle river channel, very fine sands, silts, and clays. Tropical weather with high temperatures. Non-perennial river, it was probably the most important point, El Niño phenomena, activates high suspended sediment transport rates during extreme events due to fluvial erosion. Anthropogenic conditions, a process done last 150 years ago, increases in 1973. That means these things are almost the new conditions. Reduced vegetation in the upper and middle basin as a consequence of soil erosion due to deforestation, overgrazing, and agriculture, frequent landslides. Lower basin avulsions, river draining, narrowing. Lower basin alluvial fan was extremely modified for irrigation purposes, no river delta, no river mouth. Lower basin change a multi-armed alluvial fan to one river channel due to two avulsions. Lower basin river alignment changed to direction north-south, using one river arm, creating new environment and also new river aggregation sedimentation. All with river alignment was modified to a narrow irrigation drain system. Lower basin elevation, Hail City, is below riverbed elevation. So that is very important. And availability of areas in the middle river basin, neither for flood dampening nor for water storage, unless large resettlements. This is very important to focus. No floodplains and reduced hydraulic capacity in the lower basin. Increased dominant suspended flow in the main river basin. Very fine sands, silts, and clays activated by extreme flood events, just for instance with El Niño comes. Tropical weather with increased high temperatures, global warming. El Niño phenomena plus Yaku plus climate change activate and increase high suspended sediment transport rates due to fluvial erosion. So that is our main project area. The upper basin, the middle basin, the lower basin, and the anthropogenic basin.
because the river before, as I said earlier, was releasing here to the sea. Nowadays, we need to find the right alignment to this, to the all or the ancient river alignment, and considering protection of this estuary to avoid sedimentation, because sediments will go to flow to the main estuary continuously with other rivers which are tributaries to this main problem.
And now, I believe I have a video here. No. Okay, continue. Main question. Is it possible to reduce flood vulnerability in the upper, middle, and lower basin together with reduction of river aggradation sedimentation in the lower basin? These are the main questions of this project, of this research, of this study. Is it possible flood dampening in the main river channel middle basin by flood control dams? If yes, is the Peruvian society able to deal with land resettlements and existing large development infrastructure for agriculture? That is a very important question. Is it possible river alignment restoration through the river mouth in modern age in Sechura as before anthropogenic changes? If yes, is the Peruvian society, the Peruvian inhabitants, able to deal with land resettlements, existing large development infrastructure for agricultural, increasing seafood industry installed in the old river mouth, Sechura Bay, and a poor administrative system? That is also very important conditions that we need to take before to construct our strategy for flood control management. Is it possible to take advantage of the anthropogenic change, that means the current river alignment without river mouth now, in order to use the ancient Pleistocene Holocene river alignment through La Niña, providing to the river a new and suitable river delta and river mouth, and if yes, how this will be done? So these are the main questions. So the picture shows us the current alignment, no river mouth, and the man decided to leave just the river there. And this is, and they said 30, 50, 70 years ago, up to here is the river, more is not our problem. They have not considered more. But as you can see, the area is completely and fully arid. It's completely dry, completely arid, but meandering with a lot of sediment. So this one caused the problem of vulnerability of all Piura. Extreme flood conditions. Reduction of flood vulnerability and aggregation degradation process of the river Piura stream bed and banks by means of an adequate flood control system with understanding of the complex problems have the following points. Decreasing soil erosion due to runoff in the upper river basin by slope stabilization and providing effective flood dampening countermeasures. Decreasing sediment transport capacity by rectifying the middle river basin, stabilizing the river banks with appropriate countermeasures and keeping his flood dampening property. Increasing sediment transport capacity in the lower river basin by river narrowing in the non-river channeling ridge and creating an outflow to either the old river alignment to Sechura to the sea or the ancient Pleistocene Holocene, the anthropogenic alignment, or other alternatives. Providing flood dampening countermeasures in the lower basin. So this is the current situation, and we need to learn how to deal with this problem. The basic knowledge. Inventory, we can perform an inventory mapping a situational structure of the existing flood defenses and river cruising structures along all the river. Geology, topography, remote sensing, GIS, mapping of land properties, hydrology and water resources management, HMS model, soil erosion, Maslin model, modified universal soil erosion equation, fluvial, aeolian and coastal morphology, tectonic, geology, seismology, river sediment transport in estuaries and coastal seas, fluvial hydraulic 2D numerical simulation, environmental impact and archaeology, social impact and stakeholder management. So quite complex project with a lot of information that was performed during this research, this project, in order to sort out the main problem of Piura. So different infrastructure were planned, were identifying alternatives, identifying current situation, that is the current status of Piura after 50 years with no changes up to date in order to sort out the problem. And in this case, I show here that all the topography, the complex performance for all the project so you can see the dimension of this quite difficult project, which with almost a river basin of 500,000 square kilometers. So the problem is quite big, and more if we consider the interventions that we have to perform, taking care of social and environmental impact in the some of the lagoons, and especially this area of the Niño lagoon. I will sort out this one. I will pass to other slides because it's not relevant now. Even hydrology and so on, so several topics, and understanding of the all river alignments in this river. But this is one of the most important pictures, I think so, that you can see here. This picture depicts how the river is. The river bores around 3,500 meters above sea level in the Andes Mountains. And you can see that in only 50 kilometers, the river passed from 3,500 up to 250 meters above sea level. And then all the river is completely mud, very, very low slope. You can see, of course, in the upper part is a river with many arms and so on. Meanwhile, in the lower part, the river is meandering, with cutoffs and so on. And then releasing to the estuary and so on in a new alignment. So this is very important to consider how the river is. And also the tributaries. For instance, the tributaries are in the Andes Mountains. They are completely different in the slope compared with the main river. This is just a description of the geology and the main parameters considered for this point. We have performed several models, several alternatives, several impacts, and then I would like to show you, for instance, just I don't know how to show you this video. Do you know how to? No, because it's when it's supposed to connect there or
My technical assistant.
Doesn't play, right?
you're gonna see.
Oh, it's playing here. It's not playing.
Yes, he needs to just move to see it. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you
But
can see.
I
And
can't.
then, can you get it bigger? Like
Yeah, I just
presentation
can't
mode?
see where the. Can you tell me?
Here.
Oh yeah,
I will do it.
and then you just
Oh no.
have to go big. So here.
Let's do it. You know, I see map. Yeah, clicking it, but it's not happening. Nope, we're back to one square one.
Yes, I can see.
So this one will show us how the us how is the meandering process, how the sediments are transported, how when a rainfall, when a stream flood events happens, they activate all the river, all the streams, all the river, and then they transport all the sediments to downstream, and of course happen desedimentation in the lower area, which produce the vulnerability due to floods in Piura. You can see here the meandering processes, how are the sinuosity of the river. There were many analyses done about the stream movement, the migration of the river during the years. We were analyzing with information since 1960 with photographical pictures, and also Landsat since 1969. So a lot of information was performed. We performed also tributary sediment transport campaign, analysis of sediments, tributaries D50 diameter size, different data that was carried out in order to analyze how we can sort out and do a specific solution, not only for a specific point. This project has almost 220 sub-projects, so that means need to be designed in such a way that we need to satisfy for every town, for every village area, the project, how we can deal with this one. I will not go ahead with this one. Just some information, comparison of the, I'm talking about sediments many times, but just to give you an idea, the transport of sediment in the flood event 2017, it was around 65 million tons, which is almost 36 million cubic meters. The relation of discharge maximum and minimum discharge is 151 times. And the relation with sediment transport max to sediment transport minimum is almost 5,000. You can see here almost nothing of sediment transport, and you can see how it's activated. This is the water and this is the sediment. How it's activated and how can transport a lot of sediment and produce the reduced vulnerability. These are some picture comparison. This is a very important, interesting video. How we try to find the alignment of the river in the old Pleistocene Holocene time. So the river before was here in this area, but then it was during tectonic movement that Andes were forming and going back and forming all this river and this area. The next video shows us more specifically how the river Piura was formed slowly, the streams, 60,000 years ago, 40,000 years ago, and then to the current situation 350 years ago, and the current time. So this is an analysis, a complex study which requires a lot of information, a lot of studies, and several expertise. This is how is the economical in the project. I don't want to go with details of this one. How the basin, how big is the basin, the altitude, some pictures of the formation of this La Niña lagoon, which is in this area when it's fully dry and when it's with water. So you can see, so the river is completely, and all the basin is completely arid, and there are no perennial rivers. To explain the tectonic, the geology, the river alignment, several pictures of the meandering in the upper and the middle basin. How we want to try to get out the river to the Pacific Ocean, to this tumula, to this coastline, which is a natural coastline. We need to be intervened in order to discharge to the sea by several ways or methodologies, because there is a relation, therefore, between the coastline and the river. The dunes, how the river in the old ancient Holocene was going in this direction,
and then later returns to this area, to Piura. But also, the most important point is this one, the direction of the wind. Meanwhile, the river, in the ancient time, was going in this direction. The wind was going in this direction. So, this is a proof that this one was the ancient river alignment in the Holocene and Paleocene. This is very important to consider together with the formation of the dunes. The dunes have the other direction. So this is the proof of our project to get this river alignment as satisfied for the society. Different information from 1930, 1920 was analyzed and evaluated. And I don't want to continue with this one because otherwise this picture shows us the sedimentation aggradation problem in the river, how in the city area, how it's sedimented during the last 50 years, no? 1979, how the target was 1995, 1997, and so on. So this is very important consideration to understand the problem. And this video, a video of the model. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So we achieved to model all the river, almost 300 kilometers not only the river up to the lagoon and up to the Pacific Ocean. You can see here the sediment transport modeling. Each model capital performed in this project almost 120 models in 2D. And the 120 models in 2D took almost 1 year, but each model, just each simulation was almost 3 to 5 months. You can consider how really was a hard work to model the river and to take all the, basically to do a radiography of the river from all point of view and to try to model with the conditions without project and with projects and with several variants of alternatives. I will continue. Why? But you will say, okay, the river will release to the Pacific Ocean, but later we sedimented and so on because it's minus law. So here comes the main answer to this question. What's happening here? Here. We investigate not only the river, not only the coast, we also have to investigate the subcontinental, the Pacific Ocean. We found in the project how is the talbot of these all ancient streams nowadays submerged. Of course, the water here is here. So, due to several simulations, we achieved that this one. Of course, you cannot get this one from 1 year or in 2 years or 5 years, but in a long process, because of river changes always, this river will get this slope, will increase the slope, and this one will decrease the slope in order to achieve this one and to allow the river to release the water and sediments to the Pacific Ocean and to reduce vulnerability in the lower basin. And you will see this one in this other simulation. Yeah, here. You can see how the process takes time. It's a superposition of lines because otherwise you cannot see. But basically, in a process of almost 100, 250, 500 or tons a year, it will reduce the vulnerability. And in the earlier stage, in almost 60% of reduction vulnerability. But to get reduction vulnerability fully, it will take a long time. There is a continuous monitoring by the man. The man will continue monitoring because once the river has suffered anthropogenic changes, the river needs to continue be controlled by the man in order to avoid
some surprises. This is the most important topic on this research. Important definitions for planning is the upper basin tributaries, soil erosion and landslides to be controlled, extreme rainfall during the Niño phenomena are located in the lower part of the upper basin, require static flood dampening and non-availability of suitable areas in the middle basin, River Piura, middle river system with large sandbanks, dams, activate during extreme floods, dominant suspended load transported to the lower basin, key flood dampening effect with intervention. In the lower basin, River Piura also reduced hydraulic capacity in the river channel, no floodplain, no river mouth, river delta, new river alignment, anthropogenic change, gradations, sedimentation from upstream to downstream. There are several topics that were considered that we are defining and we learn, and we are using for this strategy for resilient flood risk management.
We got quarter of an hour, so say another 10 minutes maybe.
Okay, perfect.
5 minutes for questions.
Perfect. So several topics have to be taken into account to perform this resilient flood risk management strategy. And in the anthropogenic basin as well. Take advantage of the anthropogenic chain for a new river mouth using the ancient Pleistocene Holocene river alignment. I have repeated this one 3 times already. Reduce flood vulnerability of Piura, favor sediment flushing from lower Piura to the anthropogenic basin through the tombolas, improving river flow, create anthropogenic river mouth, increasing and keeping the new environment fauna, protect the story of aggregation problem, reduce and avoid land resettlement, affect seafood industry, minimize social problems, and so on. And this is one of the most important, probably one of the very important pictures. These pictures show us the impact of the social problems. No? So when we try in this project to align impounded areas along the river, so these red areas say no, the people doesn't want, because they have already in the last 200 years developed all fully agricultural area, and that it was because there was not an authority to regulate where the inhabitants can really create work for themselves and where not. So they didn't take care of the areas, and nowadays we couldn't find any area for impoundment in the river. The main areas were found in the upstream river basin, in the upstream basin, in the tributaries. So it's really an evaluation of several topics from the social point of view, which they really want, which doesn't want, and so on. Pardon, or who wants and who doesn't want really. It's very complex problem, the social impact in this kind of project. And who really wants, for instance, the green area, if they want really in the upper basin. So it was really a hard work managing different stakeholders. I don't want to continue with this one, and just criterion analysis were performed several matrix or multi-analysis of the conditions from the type of sedimentation, type of river, soil, erosion, etc. Several topics were considered for evaluation. So this really took a lot of time, and also different topics to finally achieve the flood risk management. The flood risk management was evaluated considering, number one, current situation. What is our situation with the river? In all the river basin. How is the river now? So we have this problem with the anthropogenic chain, the lagoons. We have one dam. We don't have nothing here basically, just some few structures and bridges and so on. And this other river, which is tributary also to this one when there are excess. So this was the initial conditions. And these initial conditions were analyzed, and we have evaluated more than 20 strategies of flood management. So this one, for instance, we impounded in the upstream basin, and managing the current alignment. Or this other one, with impoundment in the upper basin and also impoundment in the lower basin. But you know that the flood dismanagement strategy is to retain the water upstream and not at the lower basin, not at the last point before going to the main city, which will be flooded. So these considerations were also analyzed. Or, for instance, what happened is we don't make impoundments upstream, but we make just one impoundment downstream. So analysis of cost, social impact, evaluation, resettlement, is possible to learn resettlement and so on. This also considered for several strategies. Or like this one with impoundments in upstream and downstream. So several different strategies were considered, and at the end, the final was this one with impoundments upstream in a tributary, which is more easy because we don't need land resettlement, and we evaluate the impact, the advantage and disadvantage, and how much is the percent of reduction of flood vulnerability for the city. So all these topics were considered, and how we can also use the anthropogenic changes. So we could easily go for river restoration, but the river restoration, which has the better technical solution, has the very not nice social and political impact. Meanwhile, this solution to take advantage of the anthropogenic changes, where the man has already created this environment, we should take advantage of this one and try to find a solution through this advantage or to this alignment problem. So more analysis of the evaluation of the infrastructure were carried out, more for the topic of the infrastructure with a great infrastructure and with great infrastructure. For instance, with great infrastructure, river training, living embankments, flexible living embankments, river embankments, river narrowing, spillways, and so on. So different types of infrastructure were analyzed. And also different types of retentions, dams and polders and so on. Which one is the better? And we can work together with the communities to provide work for this one. And the same way, also different types of structural engineering measures, and also non-structural engineering, non-structural measures, like for instance, control of erosion, pluvial erosion, definition of the riverbank margins, water system, and so on. So several content were considered, and several analyses. I wouldn't like to continue with this one, just to show at the end the infrastructure very fast, because we don't have time. Alternative analysis, it will take too much time, but I believe you have now an impression how are this kind of complex projects. Basically, probably in your countries you will have this type of projects, but just you analyze in your career, because you are beginners in this moment. You are analyzing probably one sub-project for a very big project, no? But basically, in the future, you should try to understand not a problem only specifically local. So we need to be general to try to, because probably the solution for one town is not a proper solution for the other one, and has a consequence in the other one. So that is the most important lesson of this project. And with this one, I want to finish.
Okay. Thank you. Well, thank you very much for a fascinating work. I'd like to open the floor for questions. I hope there are some. If not, I've got one of my own. Does anyone have a question?
Yes. What about behind some of the interventions and the hydraulic infrastructure that you propose to solve this issue.
Say again. Slower
Sorry.
and louder.
Yeah, you highlighted some of the interventions and infrastructure that could solve this issue. Just for context for some of us, could you give us an idea of the estimated cost of the most feasible intervention plan?
In this project?
Yes.
Yes, more or less all the projects, because we divide the project in 4 areas: upper basin, middle basin, lower basin, and anthropogenic basin. No? The total cost of the project is almost $8,000 million. $8,000 million. No? So you can see it's quite, but you cannot implement all this one in 1 year. You cannot implement this one in 3 years. This is a plan. This type of plan has been implemented, for instance, in United Kingdom, in Netherlands, in Germany, and this plan takes time. You will not the North Flat defense for the ring with the North Sea. It took almost 20 years or something like that. So this plan takes time, and in our countries, which are really poor or in developed countries, it's quite difficult to. The most, I believe, in Europe, probably you have the resources. You can carry out on this one, and you can talk easily with the society. But in our countries, it's quite difficult because you need to satisfy each small town, each inhabitant, and so on. And sometimes, just relocations, you will see. 30, 40 years ago, you send the army to your country. You want these people here, and you remove and you resettle. No, nowadays no. Nowadays it's impossible. Nowadays this is against the law. You need to think how the time changes. I have discussion with engineers from 40, 50 years ago. We should send just the army and so on and resettle. It's not like that. It doesn't work more like that. That's the reason we're here.
Questions?
Thank you so much. How did you get the government to commit to a really long plan? Sometimes in the UK we have problems with budgets only being for 5 years, so getting people to commit to big projects is difficult. Did you encounter any issues with that?
This is a very good question. This is the most difficult question. The most difficult question. Basically, the inhabitants from this area, from this region, they want this one. They want this one. There were several campaigns, workshops, and so on. They learn this is the way. They understand. However, the authorities is different. They have political. They are political. The political intervention. And yesterday, when I have my speech, I mentioned many times. You can have the better engineer of the world. You can have the better master plan. You can have design the most interesting and the most cheap also possible infrastructure. Okay. But if the political intervene, they can destroy this master plan and they can use for their own advantage, for their own purpose, and not for the purpose of everybody. This is the main. Nowadays, there is a complex problem on this one in Peru. El Niño flood is coming. It will arise December or January this year. We have already beginning this year tremendous catastrophe problems. So up to now, there is not a political decision because everybody, all the regions in Peru, we have almost 24 regions. All the regions want budget for themselves. This is only one region, the most important, which produce all the avocado that you can buy here in Netherlands, some bananas or grapes and so on that you find, or seafood that you can buy here in Netherlands come from this area, from Peru. No, so it's very big problem.
Okay, thank you. One more question.
You also did the cost benefit analysis. Yes. I would like to know, could you please elaborate more? What are the trade-offs and what are the most benefit you have to convince to the stakeholders involved, and what are the strongest objections from the associate or community for not accepting your proposed intervention?
Yeah. Okay. I will start from the end. The most difficult problem was the resettlement. We need to work with what we have. So if the river is like that and the inhabitants are living in the floodplain areas, we need to accept.
because larger segment to this one. We are not talking about just 2 families or 3 families. We're talking about, in some towns, 1,000, 2,000, other town, 1,500 people, and so on. Imagine this one, and the government, nowadays Peru probably has very good high resources, have money, but they don't have the strategy, the people correct to manage to deal with this one. And everything is managed politically. That's the most difficult problem. The advantage was that the plan was accepted in a river alignment, the most important, to accept the history of this one in the for the Oros and Palos. This was in workshop teach to the people, to the inhabitants, to learn about this one, to understand. Even they are not engineers, they are not probably they don't have university degree, no? But they can understand that because they are living with a flooding, they understand the problem. No? So this is the most important. And in the cost of benefit analysis, I can say we have produced a very good relation, a very good ratio, no? To be, I don't remember because we have almost 200 sub-projects, and each project has the ratio of cost of benefits. How much is it? No? But sometimes we have some yes and other no. Above 1, below 1. But we need to structure in such a way that we need to deal and we need to get some commitment with authorities. The most difficult is, I repeat, is the political and the authority changes. You have one authority this year, next year other authority.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you very much for your information, your answers. My main takeaway is that you've got to collect a whole lot of data, and the inclusivity is really important. Not one solution for one river. So, now, applause please.